Hello, welcome to today's flow. Today's practice will be a heart-opening flow with an emphasis as well on shoulder strengthening. I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started in a child's pose today. Arms extend long, knees wide, feet together. Take a minute here to ground and settle into your mat. Maybe massage the forehead into the floor. When you find stillness, maybe taking a deep inhale, exhale, let it go. On an inhale, walk the right hand off to the right side of the mat and left hand meets right, finding a nice stretch through the left side body. Take an inhale here, exhale, let it go. Inhale, walk hands through center and off to the left side of the mat. Right hand comes to stack on top of left. Take an inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, walk both hands through center, finding your child's pose, and gently walk hands towards body, bringing knees together, thunderbolt pose. Let's find some seated cat-cow stretches here. On an inhale, find your cow pose. Heart extends towards the front of the room, maybe finding a bit of a back bend. Exhale, move through cat. Back body extends towards the back of the room, finding a bit of an extension through the back. Inhale brings you into cow. Exhale into cat. Maybe move through 2 more of these at your own pace. And when you've completed the cat-cows, let's move into a tabletop position. Hands move under shoulders, knees stacked under hips. And let's take a minute here to take a few wrist circles. We will be using our wrists a lot today, so it's always a good idea to warm them up. A few in the one direction, and then switch directions. When you feel complete on both sides, come back through neutral table. Find a bit of a knit in the ribs, and on an inhale, extend the right arm long in front of you. And when you feel stable, left leg extends long behind you. Inhale, bring knee to elbow, round through the back body. Exhale, release limbs long. Inhale, bring knee and elbow to meet. Exhale, limbs extend long. Inhale, last time, knee and elbow meet. Exhale, extend the limbs long. On an inhale, find a kick through the left leg. Extend right arm behind you to grab the left foot. Maybe finding a bit of a kick through the left foot and extending the heart towards the floor, Maybe finding a bit of a back bend in this shape. Inhale here. Exhale, release the bind. Limbs extend long. And bring right hand back to the mat, left leg back to the mat. Maybe find a little bit of movement here before we move on to the next side. If it feels comfortable, feel free to shake out the wrists a bit. When you're ready, meet me in a neutral spine table. Extend the left arm long in front of you and right leg long behind you. Inhale, bring knee and elbow to meet. Extend through the back body. Exhale, bring the limbs long. Inhale, bring knee and elbow to meet. Exhale, extend long. Inhale, last time, knee and elbow meet. Exhale, extend arm and leg long. On an inhale, bend through the right knee. Reach left arm around to grab right foot. Maybe finding that kick and back bend again on this side. Inhale, exhale, release limbs long, and bring left hand and right leg back to the mat. Take a minute here to circle out the wrists again. When you're ready, find some strong grounding through the hands. Come tuck onto toes and bring knees to hover, finding some engagement in the core. Inhale here. Exhale, release into down dog. Bring body towards sky. Since this is the first down dog of practice, let's find some movement here. Pedal out the feet. Any movement that feels good. And prepare for some sun salutations. So when you're ready, on an inhale, come up onto toes, bend through the knees, and find a gentle walk to the top of the mat into a forward fold. Take a minute here to hang out in your forward fold. Find any movement that feels good in the body. Maybe bringing elbows to cross, holding opposite elbows above the head. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Inhale, bring hands to shins, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up the spine. Slowly let each vertebrae stack on each other. Bring hands to touch overhead. Maybe finding a little back bend here. On an exhale, release. Hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, hands meet shins, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, hands plant, feet find the back of the mat, plank pose, and ground through the knees. Lower through the upper body to chaturanga. Hold here. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, exhale. On the next inhale, pull through, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes downward facing dog. Now on this next set, feel free to take any of the options that I provided in the previous flow. Those are always available as we continue through the practice. On an inhale, come up onto toes, bend through the knees. Hop, step, walk, jump, play. Feet find the top of the mat. Inhale, hands meet shins. Halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up the spine. Let each vertebrae stack on top of each other. Hands meet overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, hands plant, feet find the back of the mat, plank pose. Bend through the elbows, elbows graze rib cage, chaturanga. Peel the heart through, upward facing dog. On an exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, feet make their way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root through the feet, roll up the spine. Each vertebrae stacks on each other. Palms meet overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands. Step back, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, peel the heart through, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward dog. On an inhale, lower through the elbows, dolphin pose. Exhale, hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, roll up the spine. Let each vertebrae stack on top of each other. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands. Feet find to the back of the mat, plank pose. Bend through the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, peel the heart through, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward dog. We will now move into our warm-up sequence. On an inhale, sweep the right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the foot between hands. Lower the back knee, left knee to the floor. Low lunge, arms extend long overhead. Maybe find a back bend here. Exhale, release hands to mat. Tuck onto the back toes, the left toes. Bring left foot to meet right, chair pose. Finding some heat in chair pose. Inhale, exhale, release, forward fold. Dive over the legs. Inhale, exhale, bend through the knees, coming down onto the back body. Let's find a bridge pose. Make sure that ankles graze fingertips, and when you're ready, roll the spine off the ground. Make sure that the neck stays in line with spine, and think about bringing knees together in your bridge. Exhale, Release the pose. Roll the body down one vertebrae at a time. Bring knees into chest and find a rock all the way up into Malasana, yogi squat. Think about grounding through the feet, pressing elbows into knees, and finding length through the spine. Option here to extend the right arm long off to the right side of the mat and left arm out to the side, finding a shoulder opener. When you're ready, swap it out. Bring left arm out to the left side of the mat and right arm long overhead. Return to center. On an inhale, option to take crow. If crow's not in your practice, I will cue it a few times today in practice. Always option to step back into your downward facing dog from Malasana or take any vinyasa of your choice. If you're joining me in crow, knees meet back of the elbows. Maybe you lift the right leg. Maybe you lift the left leg. Let's all meet in a high plank. Hands under shoulders. Inhale here. Exhale, your vinyasa. Chaturanga. Inhale, peel through to upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, down dog. Let's take that same sequence on the other side. Inhale, left leg sweeps high. Exhale, knee into nose. Step foot between hands. Lower the right leg, low lunge. Palms sweep overhead. Maybe finding a back bend here. Inhale, hands plant, tuck onto the back right toes. Press off the toes, find a chair pose at the front of the mat. Building heat in chair. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold, dive over the legs. Inhale, come down to the back body on the mat. Let's set up for bridge pose. Bring ankles to graze the fingertips. Press through the back body. Think about bringing knees together. Inhale. Exhale. Allow each vertebrae to roll onto the mat. Bring knees into chest. And let's rock up to our Malasana yogi squat. Find that opening in the legs by pressing elbows into the inside of the legs. Tall spine. Inhale. Your vinyasa. Maybe option to take a crow pose if that's in your practice. All meeting in high plank. Always the option to move back straight through to a downward dog, skipping the vinyasa. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga, elbows graze rib cage. Inhale, peel the heart through, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Let's take another short warm-up sequence. Inhale, sweep the right toes high. Exhale, knee into nose. Step foot between hands. High lunge. Bring palms to touch overhead. Exhale, pivot the back left foot 45 degrees. Warrior one. Exhale, bring the hands to interlace behind back. and humble out your warrior, folding on the inside of the right foot. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Inhale, pivot both feet to the left side of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Release hands to the mat. Inhale, exhale, release. Inhale, roll up the spine, pivot toes outward, goddess pose. Settle into the squat. Think about opening the legs up to either side of the mat and cactus out the arms. On an exhale, pivot the back left foot and right foot towards the top of the mat. Plant the left hand. Open right arm up towards the sky, twisted lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Bring right palm to meet mat and right foot to the back of mat, your vinyasa. Lower chaturanga. Peel the heart through, upward facing dog. Roll over the toes, down dog. Inhale, sweep left foot high. Exhale, knee into nose, plant foot between hands. Inhale, bring hands to meet overhead, high lunge. Exhale, pivot the back foot, warrior one. Inhale, bring hands to interlace behind the back, maybe taking the opposite interlace you did before. Exhale, humble out your warrior, folding on the inside of the left foot. Inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, pivot both feet to the right side of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Allow hands to plant on the mat. Inhale, roll up the spine, goddess pose. Turn toes outwards, find a bit of a squat, cactus out the hands. Inhale, exhale, pivot both feet to the top of the mat, right hand plants, twisted lunge. Exhale, bring left hand to the mat, left foot to the back of the mat, plank pose, your vinyasa. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, peel the heart through, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, down dog. Take a minute here to find some movement in your down dog before we move into our main sequence. Option 2, take a child's pose, lowering the knees and coming back to the mat if that feels good and restful. When you're ready, meet me in a downward facing dog. Let's move through our main sequence. On an inhale, right leg sweeps high. Exhale, knee into nose. Step foot between hands. High lunge. Palms meet overhead. Exhale, pivot the back foot, warrior one. Inhale, interlace palms behind you. Humble out the warrior. Exhale. Right shoulder comes to right knee. Inhale, wide-legged forward fold. Pivot right foot to the left side of the mat. Exhale, Plant left hand at the top of the mat, twisted lunge. Right arm opens up towards sky. Exhale, horizon pose. Lower hip towards the mat. Exhale, come back up through twisted lunge. And big transition here, option to take a few small steps or one big step. Back to a side plank on the left side. Inhale, coming out the way we came in. Bring right leg to the top of the mat, high lunge. Pivot onto left toes. Hands meet overhead. On an inhale, press off the back left toes, chair pose. Bend in through the knees. Exhale, dive over legs, forward fold. Inhale, lower to the mat. Bring back body all the way to the mat, bridge pose. Fingertips touch ankles. Rise up one vertebrae at a time. Exhale, allow the body to return to mat. Bring knees into chest. Find a bit of a rock into Malasana, yogi squat. Spine straight. Option to plant hands, moving into crow pose. Finding any vinyasa that speaks to you. Eventually, we will all meet in a downward facing dog. If you're with me, lower through elbows, chaturanga. Peel the heart through, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over the toes, down dog. Same sequence, left side. Inhale, sweep left toes high. Exhale, knee into nose, step foot between hands, high lunge, hands meet overhead. Exhale, warrior one, pivot, right foot flat. Inhale, interlace palms behind you. Exhale, humble out your warrior, left shoulder meets left knee. Inhale, pivot left foot to the right side of the mat, wide-legged forward fold. Exhale, release hands towards mat. Plant right hand at the top of the mat, twisted lunge. Left arm extends overhead. Inhale, let's find that big transition. Let's go to horizon pose, lower the right hip towards mat. Exhale, let's find that big transition back to side plank. Inhale, bring left leg high and to the top of the mat, high lunge. Arms sweep overhead. Exhale, tuck onto right toes. Bring right leg to meet left at the top of the mat, chair pose. Arms sweep overhead. Exhale, upper body dives over legs, forward fold. Inhale, release the body to the mat. Find a bridge pose. Ankles meet fingertips and press the body towards the sky. Exhale, release one vertebrae at a time. Bring knees into chest. Rock up to Malasana, yogi squat. Press elbows into knees and find a tall spine here. Inhale. Exhale, release palms to mat. Option for crow pose or any vinyasa that you like. On an exhale, feet find the back of the mat, plank pose. Lower through elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, heart presses through towards the front of the room. Exhale, roll over toes, downward facing dog. Let's begin our cool down sequence, letting body know that we will be winding down for Shavasana and meditation. Move into pigeon pose on an inhale, sweep right leg high. Exhale, bring right knee into left elbow, and left foot can land anywhere that feels comfortable. If you feel pain in the right knee in pigeon pose, you've gone too far. Back off the pose. So if you'd like, you can recline your pigeon right away. If you would like a bit of a heart opener, move hands towards the body. Maybe tighten through the left glutes and press through the left leg. Finding a bit of a back bend in this shape. When you're ready, release arms out long, fold over the right leg, and relax forehead into mat. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Staying here for about 5 cycles of breath, letting body cool down and preparing for our seated meditation at the end of practice. When you're ready, bring hands towards body and slowly raise the body towards the sky. Coming back out the way we came back in, the way we came in, tuck onto left toes, and gently raise the right leg behind you for a 3-legged dog. Maybe bend at the hip and take a few hip circles with the right leg. Eventually allowing right leg to return and meet the left. Let's take pigeon on the other side. On an inhale, sweep left leg high behind you. Exhale, left knee to left wrist, and left foot is anywhere out to the side that feels comfortable for you. Again, if you feel any pain in the left knee, you've gone too far. Back off the pose. Maybe you walk the hands towards body, finding that same back bend on the left side and opening the heart towards the sky. On an exhale, maybe you walk arms out in front and fold over the left leg. Again, taking about 5 cycles of breath here in your pigeon pose. If you feel any discomfort in the left hip, maybe breathing into that discomfort and allowing the breath to help feel a deeper sensation in that left hip. When you feel complete on this side, come up onto fingertips and walk hands towards body. Bring upper body towards the sky. Again, we'll come out the way we came in, tuck onto right toes, and find your way into a three-legged dog with left leg high behind you. Bend through the left knee and take some hip circles with the left leg. Eventually, left leg meeting right in your down dog. Take a minute to notice how your body feels after that practice. And when you're ready, bend through the knees, finding a child's pose. Just as we did at the beginning of practice, knees wide, feet together, arms extend long in front. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Maybe noticing a difference between how your body feels now and at the beginning of practice. Take one more cycle of breath here. And when you're ready, on an inhale, walk the hands towards the body. Bring knees together. Thunderbolt pose. Let's tuck onto toes and find a bit of a toe stretch. And also circle out the wrists, since we've used them a lot in practice today. Maybe shaking out the hands like you're shaking some water off of the hand. When you're ready, let's find a camel pose. So come up onto shins, bring the hands towards the lower back, and press through the hips, maybe finding a bit of an extension through the spine and a back bend, opening the heart towards the sky. If it's in your practice and you feel warmed up for it, always the option to release hands towards ankles, finding the full expression of camel pose. When you're ready, gently roll up the spine, finding neutral. Taking a minute to shake out the hips and just find some gentle hip circles and side to side. Eventually, lowering body to mat and extending feet out wide for a wide-legged forward fold, a seated wide-legged forward fold. Make sure that the toes stay pointed towards ceiling and don't cave in. So this is a stopping point right here, finding a straight spine in your wide-legged forward fold. When you're ready for it, maintaining a straight spine, option to walk hands out towards front of the mat. When you've reached the full expression of your pose, option to round through the spine and find a stretch in the neck. Let's take a few cycles of breath here. Take one more round of breath, and when that cycle is complete, Moving hands towards body. Let's move into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Bring feet together, knees apart, and maybe you press the legs out wider with the elbows. Option to stay straight here or fold over the feet, any amount. Sometimes it might feel nice to massage out the arches of the feet in this position. Our feet do so much for us every day, so this is a nice way we can show them some love. On an inhale, come back up through straight spine. Exhale, use strength of the core to release upper body back to mat. Supta Baddha Konasana, maintain the bound angle in the feet. Find some relaxation here. If you're looking for a bit more of an opening, you can place hands onto the upper thighs. If this is too much, always the option to place the hands under the thighs and offer a little bit of extra support. When you're ready, bring hands to the outsides of the thighs and gently close your thighs like a book. Let's set up for our final rounds of bridge pose, our final back bend of practice. Bring ankles to graze fingertips, setting up for bridge. Gently press the hips towards the sky. Make sure that neck stays in line with spine here. Inhale. Exhale. Gently roll down the spine, one vertebrae at a time. We'll take one more round of bridge pose here. Option, if it's in your practice, to take wheel. I have a shoulder injury, so it is not in my practice. I will be doing bridge, but always option to go to wheel if that's in your practice. So if you're with me, let's move back through a bridge pose. Again, setup is that the ankles are touching fingertips, and gently press the hips towards the sky. Think about tractioning knees in towards center line. And inhale here. Exhale, gently roll down the spine, one vertebrae at a time, delivering back body to mat. On an inhale, stretch legs long and bring arms to a T, out to either side. Now bring right leg into chest, interlace hands around the right leg, squeezing right knee into chest. Inhale. Exhale. Bring right arm to T and twist the right knee towards the left side of the mat. Maybe you complete the twist by looking over the right shoulder. Make sure that shoulders stay grounded in your twist. On your next inhale, release the twist. Neck that comes through center. Right leg returns long. Inhale. And on an exhale, bring left knee into chest. Interlace the hands around the left leg, squeezing the left thigh into chest. Inhale here. Exhale, bring left arm out to a T, and extend left leg over to the right side of the room. Maybe you look over the left shoulder to even out the twist. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Inhale, return through center, releasing the twist. Extend left leg long, finding your Shavasana, corpse pose. We can take a bit shorter of Shavasana today to allow for some meditation, seated meditation at the end. Always option to stay in Shavasana if you prefer not to take the seated meditation. Taking a moment into Shavasana to settle in and enjoy the benefits of your practice. Allowing the body to melt into the mat. Notice how you're feeling after that practice. Hopefully, the body is feeling relaxed and open, and I hope that you can find a way to take this sensation that you've cultivated in this practice and bring this off the mat and share this with others in your personal life. Finding a way to bring this state of peace and share that with the world around you. I'll leave us in a few moments of a silent Shavasana before giving the option to transition into a seated meditation. Always an option. I encourage you to make practice your own. If you're ready to move with me into meditation, before you take any movement, find a deep inhale, maybe the deepest inhale that you've taken today, allowing the body to fill with air, feeling the inhale reach all the way to the belly and hold at the top of the inhale. Exhale, let it go. When you're ready, maybe find a small movement through fingers and toes. eventually allowing that movement to extend to wrists and arms and legs. When you're ready to transition into a seat, maybe you roll onto one side and use the arm as a pillow. Try to keep eyes closed as much as possible through the transition. Eventually pressing through the hands and finding a seated position. In your meditation, find an easy seat, and maybe you bring palms to rest on the knees. Find a deep inhale here and an exhale. Allow yourself to connect with your breath. Always breathing through the nose. Maybe take a minute to think about a time when you felt love and gratitude. Maybe it was a moment today. Maybe it was something that happened this week. It could be a loved one. It could be somebody very close to you that made you feel love. Maybe taking a minute to reflect on where that feeling shows up in your body. And taking a moment to appreciate that sensation with the knowledge that you can bring yourself back to that sensation anytime you want. Noticing how that feeling of love resonates in the body. Maybe allowing it to bring a smile to your lips. And just taking a few breaths in silence and cultivating a sensation of heart opening and love in the body. If you're ready to transition out of your meditation or Shavasana with me, you can maybe start to bring awareness back to your space. If you're not ready and you would like to stay in meditation a little bit longer, I always encourage that. If you're with me, maybe taking a deeper inhale and finding a bit of movement in the hands. Maybe moving the palms along the thighs to wake up the body. And bringing hands to touch at heart center. This is a pose that I find allows me to cultivate a lot of gratitude and love. Hopefully you find that as well, and it allows for strong sensations of love and gratitude to round out our heart-opening practice. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the flow, and I look forward to practicing together again soon.